Kenya's general elections were held as the country marked 50 years of independence. Uhuru Kenyatta garnered 6 million votes to win just over 50% of the ballot and as such is the president-elect of the republic. Throughout the election, all manner of media was used by Kenya's people to keep abreast of the latest developments.
The role of the media is to disseminate information. It's not so much to sieve, it's certainly not to censor. Media's got to be careful to self-censor. Media's got to be responsible. In a functional democracy, the cornerstone of the same is a free and vibrant media. So the role of the media is to report on the facts without embellishing, without twisting, so that you can give an accurate picture.
We're at the Bomas of Kenya, which is the national tallying center for Kenya's general election. Behind me there are over 500 local and foreign journalists who spent sleepless nights covering these elections. Here is their experience.
My experience has been inspiring to see all those people out there in the heat. Millions of people. It was really amazing to witness as an African and to witness their patience and their passion and why they wanted to vote.
I might describe it as one process which is very involving. I mean, from all aspects, from a technical point of view, emotionally, it's really taking its toll on us guys. But I think the fact that for close to about 5 years we've been preparing ourselves for this, it hasn't come quite as a surprise.
Reporters for television were kept busy while ensuring their audiences around the world were timelessly informed. Kenya's general election was an opportunity for them to hone their journalism skills.
A lot of people portray Africa as this sort of doom and gloom story: poverty, dead babies, wars, coups, bad elections where people get beaten up. Our role is to tell the truth, but ultimately through African eyes, so through having a little bit of perspective on it, and understand that, you know, it's developing and it's changing and things are improving, and with every single day, with every single election, things are going to get better.
We covered successfully the 2010 referendum, which also acted like a precursor to the 2013 elections, which has really been billed as a very historic election since 1963, when we got our independence. Also looking at the scale of it, this is the first to be conducted under the 2010 Constitution. Very complex, very sophisticated exercise. So there's a lot that we've been able to borrow from the partners that we work with, but also within ourselves we have, I think to a certain extent, prepared ourselves comprehensively for this exercise.
Foreign direct investment to Kenya is projected to be well over $1 billion US, perhaps a reason why the country has been under intense media scrutiny by international media houses. In the run-up to these elections, there was a brewing debate on political bulletins that ran on international platforms which were deemed non-factual, hence causing a scare to investors.
I don't agree with it. I'm from Africa as well. I'm from Zimbabwe, and you know, Zimbabwe's been placed in a bad light, but you can also use foreign journalists to, you know, you can use them for your own advantage as well. And Kenyans need to understand that foreign journalists are important sometimes when you need to get your message out to the rest of the world, and perhaps it's something that local journalists are too nervous to touch on. So yes, foreign journalists were probably talking early Monday about the Mombasa killings and 15 dead, but it was quickly surpassed by all the journalists who woke up in Nairobi and witnessed the historic lines and optimism and things like that.
Boniface Mwangi, a photo activist, disagrees with those casting aspirations on foreign press.
Personally, as a photographer, I don't think that foreign journalists are putting the country in bad light, because Kenya is very tribal as a country. We had violence 5 years ago, it's a fact. So what we're trying to do is deny our history. There's been violence during elections, there are possibilities of violence during this time, and we can't expect the international media or even local journalists to do the work of the Kenya Tourism Board. It's not their work to promote Kenya, that's not their work to do.
A statement to newsrooms by European Union on elections observation says, Kenyans have shown a strong commitment to electoral democracy by turning out in high numbers and peacefully exercising their democratic rights. So how should the fourth estate conduct itself in ethical journalism?
Give out the facts, report, be fair and balanced, all right? But get the story out. Get the story out, certainly. And be careful not to self-censor. Be careful also not to be irresponsible. Don't make assumptions and presumptions and therefore make hateful or insightful remarks, but just report on the facts.
I'm a firm believer in Africans telling the African story and local telling their own stories. I think there's no one who can cover my bucket better than me because I'm a Kenyan and I live in this country. So what you need to do is up our game and go to international level where you find that someone who's assigned to come and cover Kenya is actually a Kenyan because they live here and work here.
The world will surely be watching Kenya as it sets itself on a growth trajectory.
I mean, I see Kenya growing. Everyone is educated here. People are voracious readers. They love politics. They love freedom. They love the news. I never feel threatened when I walk through Kenya doing my job. They're always welcoming. I see Kenya only going forward.
The building blocks are there. We're in the runway. We're just about to take off. And I think the only thing that would really propel us, to 30,000, 40,000 feet high is how we manage these elections.